Welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about how do you visualize the data and why do you visualize the data. So if you're in for this, let's get into this right now. And my third video, we learned how do we extract the data and how do we manipulate the data. So now in this fourth video, we would basically be doing data visualization and how do we visualize the data. So we are using that exact same data set that we used in our past two videos, and we are building onto this. So let's get into this right now. So in this specific example, I am going to be using Google data sheets. I know you can visualize the data in Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, but why Google Data Studio is much more better and much more easier to learn than learning how to do it in Excel or I would say in Google Data Sheets. So let's get into this. I'm going over to Google Data Studio. So you type in the search bar and here you get the Google Data Studio. So the reason why we visualize the data is so we can actually literally see what's happening in the data set. We had 100 lines of data and it's impossible to figure out what exactly is going on in that data set looking at 100 lines. But now with using data visualization technique, we would basically be creating tables, charts, graphs, pie charts, geo charts, all of that can easily be created with Google Data Studio, and there is literally zero programming involved in this. So in this case, I would be teaching you how do you connect Google Data Studio with Google Sheets. So in our previous example, we learned how do we extract and how do we manipulate the data, and now in this case we would be learning that how do we connect Google Sheets with Google Data Studio, because once the Google Sheets is connected, then most of your job is done. So we'll be going with this specific example. And that's it. So now we basically have created, we've connected our Google Sheets to Google Data Studio. Now let's go into the details of where exactly and what exactly we did. So looks like this is not the right one. Select this one here and connect. So now we have all the data that we had created. We have all of that it's all up here, and what the things that we need to learn or we need to know is basically the same dimensions and metrics. So anything that is a dimension would always come in as text, and anything that's a metric would always come in as a number. So now we have connected this here and we close this. So in this first example, I'll be teaching you how do we create a table in Google Data Studio. So in this case, we don't have a date range, so we don't have any metric or dimension to pull through. So in this case, we'll be going directly to dimensions. We go to dimensions, and let me go back to our landing page tab. So in this landing page tab, we have all these dimensions and metrics, and the ones that are colored up here, they are the ones that we had created by ourselves. So these are the calculated metric, and these are the new dimensions that we had created. So in this specific example, I would be pulling in this landing page type would be my first dimension that I want to pull in. So in this case, I go to dimensions, I open that up, and I click on landing page type. So the moment I create that, click on that, I get all my landing page types that are up here. Now in this case, record count can be useful, but for our specific example, I'll be pulling in sessions. So just after I click on sessions, I can now clearly see that most of our data that has come through, most of the landing page types were actually food. The next one was news, and the next one was culture. So now we have a little bit more understanding of what that data set was saying. So in this case, I know that most of our sessions that came through were basically for food, and then the next one that came through were for news. And similarly, if I have to create a pie chart, so what I basically do is I'll go on to add a chart, and I click on pie chart, and I just place it here, and boom, everything automatically automatically connects together. So we have our dimension landing page type, that is the one that we had selected, and now we have the metric that we're looking at is sessions. So in this case, this pie chart is giving me a lot of useful information that 33% of our sessions, of the entire sessions that were there in that 100 line data, so all of these sessions starting from here, all of them, 33% of those are basically for food, 26% are for products, so forth and so forth. So now we have a little bit more clear idea of what exactly our data set is talking about. Now if we want to create bar charts, let's create a bar chart. So I select my bar chart here and just place it here. Now again, all of that gets connected automatically, so your work is basically just selecting the chart that you want to use, and most of the stuff is basically automatically done by Google Data Studio, and there's zero programming required. And now with this table, I have that same information in 3 different ways that I'm presenting it. So this is how you work on Google Data Studio. One last thing is something that you can't do in Excel, which is creating geocharts. How do you create a geochart? Now, up till now we saw that we go to manage data sources and we make sure that we have added the new data slice, and so now we know that it's added correctly. We close this up, we go up here, we make sure on the data source we select the correct data source. So here we want to make sure that country is coming in, country channel is our data set. Now we go to the geo dimension and boom, our country is here. So we click on the country and we just make sure we have to pull in a dimension as well that we want to visualize. So we just click on sessions and that's it. Now we have all the countries from where we got all our sessions from. So this chart is basically telling us that US is the area where we are getting the maximum number of sessions from. We did get some sessions from Canada, a little bit from Europe, a little bit from Asia, and a little bit from Africa as well. So this is one feature which is not available in Excel, and this helps you visualize your data in a way that you can see that, okay, where are those people coming from into your website. So in this specific example, we were just covering Google Analytics, and this is how you visualize your data. And if you have any other questions, you can leave a comment down below. If you want access to this specific Google Data Studio charts that I've created so that you can create them yourself, there is a link for my Google Forms down in the description. You can fill that form up, and I would be happy to send you this specific charts that I've created, so you can create them by yourself as well if you want to. And I'm also posting my link to my LinkedIn profile, so that is also in the description below. In that you can, if you want to connect with me, you can just shoot me an invite and just mention it up there that you saw my video and you want to connect with me, and I would be happy to answer all your questions that you would have, and like I can help you with your specific example that you want to work with. So I have all that in the description below. And one last thing is my next video that would be coming up, in 3 days, and it is going to be covering our fifth section, that is basically our analysis section. And this is where what we are going to analyze in depth whatever we have done up till now. So we've covered 4 different sections. First one was the basics, the top 5 skills. The second one was how do you extract data. The third one was how do you manipulate the data, and this specific example covered how do you visualize the data. So now there are 2 more skills that I would be covering up. The link to my next video is right up there, so you can click on it and learn. If you enjoyed this video, I would recommend just pressing the subscribe button, because I'm going to be covering everything that you need to know to how to become a data analyst. That's my goal, and I'm sharing all that knowledge to you for free. So see you in the next video.